This is the Albuquerque Business Podcast with your host, Jason Rigby. Each week, we interview leading local business leaders to inspire the vision and spirit that is in every entrepreneur, discussing strengths, weakness, strategies, systems, and the problems we can all solve together to fulfill a shared vision of a new future for Albuquerque.
Hi, my name is Jason Rigby, and welcome to the Albuquerque Business Podcast. Today on our show, we have a very special guest. I don't want to give it away, but she is the owner of the Bee's Knees Wax Boutique, so stick around. I want to thank our sponsors, 99.9 The Beat FM. If you live in the Albuquerque area, please tune in to 99.9 FM, or you can go online and stream at 99thebeatfm.com. Also want to thank Duke City Marketing for the latest state-of-the-art digital marketing agency that's here in Albuquerque. If you're looking at doing Snapchat ads, Facebook, pay-per-click, whatever it may be, don't hesitate to go to www.dukecitymarketing.com. So I have Jessica, I want to make sure I pronounce your last name right, Fouts?
Yes.
I did it. I said it right. Perfect. She's
right.
an entrepreneur and built a brand on the west side here in Albuquerque. And when did you specifically start your business? How long have you been in business for?
I think it was March. Yeah, March of last year.
Oh,
so
okay.
March
Cool,
of
perfect.
2018. It's not even a year yet.
Not even a year. Awesome. And it's going well? The
It's
business?
amazing. I really can't complain.
Oh, perfect. So she has a little bit more unique business than any that I could imagine, especially in the spa arena, because most everybody, when they're looking at going to a spa or looking at, I know you do waxing
Yes.
and stuff like that. When they're looking at that, to me, it's kind of something I've never thought of this. So I want you to kind of explain it for business owners out there. But you have a business that, do you call it a vegan business, or what do you call it in particular?
Yeah. So we are 100% vegan spa. So we only have products that are vegan friendly, and none of them are tested on animals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So what is, because I want to get into this a little bit more, what is veganism, like, in particular? If somebody doesn't know, I know all of us, eat all different types of foods, and we've all gone through different things, and I know there's a new generation that's coming up that seems to be bigger and bigger. So what is veganism?
So typically for us, it's a lifestyle. You don't eat meat, you don't eat animal byproduct, which is like dairy, eggs, honey. You don't want to wear like wool or leather. We don't attend like circuses, aquariums, zoos, stuff like that. So we're really just for the animals.
And you have your friend in here, Monique, right?
Yes.
And you guys are actually doing something, or I know Monique is, but there's like a circus or something going on this weekend?
Yes, it's a protest. Why don't you talk a little bit about it?
Yeah.
It's the protest against the Shrine Circus. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and we're hoping to end it.
So how long have they been in the area? Do they come every year?
They come every year, and every year we protest on the outside of it, peacefully, of course.
So you have like signs and stuff?
Yes, we have signs, and we have educational brochures to hand out, as well as coloring books for kids, and it's amazing. I love it.
Oh, cool. And so this is part of the vegan lifestyle? Like certain things like this?
Yeah,
with, like,
I mean, I
cruelty
think
animals?
it's like once you get more into it, because we've all been vegan for like over a year and a half for us. And once you get more passionate about like what's going on in the environment and about the planet, then you want to do something to help. And peacefully, that's kind of like our only way to really help, is to kind of educate people.
So it's kind of more of a peaceful movement.
Yes, definitely. And it's not like we want to end circuses. We just want to end the animal use in circuses. Like, we're
Right.
totally okay with acrobats and people like
Oh, yeah,
flying
absolutely.
around. It's nothing against that. It's just that we don't want the abuse behind it.
Right, with the animal.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole process of, so like veganism, so you can't have, you said you can't have honey, you can't have like anything that's related to an animal that an
Yeah,
animal
and it's not that we
produced?
say that we can't have it. It's just we'd rather not. Anything that's going to like harm an animal, we'd rather just stay away from.
Right. Okay. So that makes sense. Now, as far as like food, that I think we all think of, because I just learned something. I didn't know it was like a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't wear leather and stuff. I didn't know that part at all. So I always think food, that's and I see vegan options on the, menus and stuff like that. And we'll get a little bit into that. But as far as the lifestyle goes, so how long have you?
So we went vegan in July after we watched the documentary What the Health.
Right.
That we were talking about. And so it's been about a year and a half. So 2 years will be in July.
And that documentary, was it on Netflix or
Yes,
Amazon?
it was on Netflix.
Cool. And what was the name of it again, so everybody
It's
can
called
watch
What
it?
the Health.
What the Health. And I actually watched that one. It didn't persuade me fully, but
Oh yeah, the next day we like threw everything out in our house and we just went fully vegan. We were just totally like grossed out.
what were some of the things that really resonated with you on it?
I think the big thing was what it's doing like to your health, the amount of like cholesterol that you eat, and sodium that you eat when you eat like animals. And then it talks a lot about the like antibiotics that are like put into the animals, and like the growth hormones, and it's just really educational. I mean,
Right.
I
And
think
one of the
everyone
things
should
that
see it.
really got me was the amount of pollution that goes into the air
yes, oh definitely.
with the animals, and then the amount of water use.
Oh yeah, I think it's like you can save like 1,000 gallons of water per day by going vegan, because it's not having to like the grain in the water. It isn't having to go to the animals.
Right. Right.
Then it can go to the people.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So 1,000 gallons a day.
1,000 gallons a day.
That's crazy. I take long showers, so there's probably I'm probably at 1,500.
even better than like not taking a shower. Just go meatless for like a Monday.
Oh, like Meatless Monday or something like that.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
it's totally
cool. That's a
like
good
trending
idea.
now.
Oh, is it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. So, a little bit about yourself, Jessica. Were you raised here? Where you from originally?
I was born in Binghamton, New York. It's like
Oh, okay.
upstate New York, but I came down here when I was like 3. My parents were from here, so they just moved back. And I've been here ever since. I'm 26 years old now, and I'm married, and I have 3 giant dogs.
What type of dogs do you have?
Oh gosh, the newest one, he's like husky and I think German Shepherd mix, and then our middle one is Mastiff and an
Holy
Australian
smokes.
cattle dog, and then our first one is oh gosh, what is Apollo? Shar-Pei Lab Retriever.
Are they
But that's
rescue?
yeah,
or
they're
are
all
they-
rescue. So I don't
Oh,
really know
okay,
their
cool.
age. We don't really know their breed. It's just kind of what the rescue said.
Right. Yeah, I mean that's one of the. I have a rescue animal, and then we ended up doing the DNA
Oh, did
testing,
you?
so it was really interesting. Yeah, to find
I wanna
out.
do that.
If I showed you Zoe, you would swear she's a German Shepherd. I mean, like absolutely looks. Unless they got the DNA stuff messed up, there's no German Shepherd in.
What is she?
Like all kinds of stuff. Like her grandparents were husky and mix, and then her great
Just
grandparents
pure
were
mutt, right?
yeah, like from the streets of Albuquerque, like hardcore,
Love
like
it.
gangster mutt. Yeah.
I'm sure that's what all my dogs are too.
So I've noticed that with vegans that they're very like pet friendly too.
Oh yes, we love animals.
Yeah.
Love animals. There's like this Catopia place. Have you heard of that?
No.
It's in town. It's Catopia Cafe, and you can go play with cats. And they have like vegan like baked goods, and you can have coffee and tea and stuff.
And there's cats around.
Yeah, you
So
can
it's
go play
like-
with cats.
Well, I know they have. I know
They're
like
rescue cats. too. You can
hospitals are
adopt them.
starting to use that, where they use like dogs for pet therapy.
Really?
Or probably cats could do the same thing.
I totally think so.
Yeah.
they're all like adoptable and everything too. It
Oh,
seems
that's
really
perfect. So, New York was only there till 3,
Yep.
so you didn't have to go through the super East Coast thing. So
No.
you're not. You
Didn't
don't
get
have
the
an
accent. I'm
Yeah.
good.
And then from there, you came back here. And what did you go to school here or?
I did. I was in public school, and then I got to high school, and they put me in St. Pius.
Oh wow!
So I was in Catholic school for
Wow.
like 4 years, and then I went to CNM for about 1.5 years, and I was going for like culinary and interior design, and then I just dropped out because it was all a mess. I had no idea what I wanted to do, and I took a few months to like research like specialty schools and see what I
Right.
really wanted. So I found Aveda, which is for like cosmetology and like hair, skin, and nails kind of thing. So
Right.
I went for aesthetics, which is just skincare basically. I'm a skin specialist. And from there I worked corporate jobs for the next 5 years, and then went to like smaller, like locally owned businesses for the next like 2 years, and then finally ventured out and opened my own spot.
That's awesome. And so in the area here in Albuquerque, because before we got on air, you were talking about this. There's like a Facebook group or something.
Yes.
What's it? Can you shout it out or?
Yes, it's called ABQ Vegans or Albuquerque Vegans. And there's like 1,800 of us last time I checked on there. And it just talks about like the different vegan options that there are in town, some cool foods that they carry at Whole Foods and Sprouts, like cool finds that people have or cool recipes. Like just
Restaurants?
a community.
Is
Yes.
there like, if
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys talk about restaurants?
There's like 37 pages of different options at restaurants that you have. So if you're a local business and you're not putting your name on there, then you're definitely missing out on a whole market, on a whole group of people.
Exactly. Yeah. I was talking about that earlier with you. If there's a group of 12 young millennials, or what's your guys' age group now? Is it Z or something like that? What's the next one down below millennials? I always forget. But everybody loves to go out to eat. So if there's 12 of you going out to eat, one of you is probably going to be vegan.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
So if you don't have a vegan option and they're looking for that, you just missed out on that table of 12.
And it's really not hard to have a vegan option. I think it's about educating your staff on what veganism even is, because I mean, I've gone to corporate places where I asked for a vegan option and they were like, oh, we have brisket. And I'm like, okay. And then I have to like educate them on what it is. And then you're scared that you're not even going to get something that's vegan because no one even knows what's going on. So I think it's about educating your staff on what it is and having like maybe like 2 or 3 options for like a good salad, or like, you know what I mean? Like good options for vegans to have, that we're not afraid of cross-contamination.
So just don't have, yeah, let's talk about that a little bit more. So just don't have a vegan option. A lot of businesses don't even have that. So now you just throw that on your menu and there it is. But the way that the meal is prepared, when you just said cross-contamination,
Yeah.
what is that?
Well, like we don't like stuff fried in the same fryer as like you would fry your fried chicken.
Right. So
Or-
no buffalo wings.
Yeah, please don't throw your
With the
buffalo wings with my
cauliflower,
like
'cause you guys, I had those. Those are actually bomb.
Amazing,
the buffalo
right?
cauliflower, or whatever
Yes.
it's called. Yeah.
the cauliflower buffalo wings.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we prefer like our French fries and our cauliflower to be fried in like, I mean, most places have an allergy friendly fryer.
Right.
Something similar to that. Like most places have that, I know.
And because what business owners aren't realizing is that this is not going away. One, number
No.
two, people may not. I know a lot of people stay vegan for their whole life. Some people don't. But even during that process of a year or two or whatever, what I love about it, and one of the main reasons why I wanted to have you on is, it's rare in business when you can have an option that you can do that is moralistically good and also good for the bottom line.
Definitely.
So you're going to get more customers by having vegan options.
Mm-hmm. And just marketing to them. I mean, even if you do have vegan options, a lot of us don't know unless you're on that page, because we're not going to venture out to a random restaurant and not knowing that the options. At least I don't.
And make sure you have that on your Yelp, the vegan friendly. I think you can push a little button
Exactly.
on your Yelp profile. Make sure you have that on there. So we'll get into that a little bit more, but let's get into, so you decided to have a spa that is it's vegan friendly, or so how does this work?
So most wax, like body waxing, hard wax is used. They use beeswax, and polymer, which is plastic. So neither of them are really good for the environment. So I did find a wax company made in Australia, called Jack's Wax. Love them. And they are vegan and they're cruelty free. So they don't use plastic, and it's like a paraffin wax. So it's very, very gentle on the skin. It's made for people with sensitive skin. And they don't use any beeswax. So that's
So that's awesome. So if you're going to a typical wax, so it'd be like a wax salon, then it's hard on your skin. So you're not helping the environment, and it's hard on your skin.
It depends on what wax they're using, because everyone uses something different. But pine rosin is normally what makes people sensitive. It's rosin that comes from a pine tree. If you are allergic to pine or you get sensitive to pine, then you're going to have little like histamine reaction or little like bumps or little breakouts from it. So this wax is just made for people who are like really sensitive. So I like it for everybody though. I can't complain.
And it works just the same?
Amazing. I think it's better. Yeah. I'm less ingrowns, less like irritation. Like I said, less redness. I absolutely love it. I'm glad I switched. Of course the wax is a little bit more expensive, but it's totally worth it to have
of course.
like something that I can like put my heart behind.
Right, exactly. And I think that's what's important is, you're not going against your values.
Exactly.
Yeah. So one of the things that I wanted to ask you about specifically is, if somebody's right now is listening to this and they're wanting to like schedule an appointment with you, they're wanting to switch or whatever, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
You can either get on my social media and contact me on there, or you can text or call me on my cell phone. I'm easily available.
Oh, okay. What is your we're gonna do it now and then we'll do it at the end of the show. But
Okay.
what is your, if they want to DM you because I see you on Instagram. So what is your Instagram?
My Instagram is the Bees Knees Rio Rancho.
So Bees Knees Rio Rancho. But for everybody that knows, you're kind of west side, kind of Rio Rancho.
I am. I'm right at in between West Side and Cabazon. So I'm not it's technically Rio Rancho, but I am West Side definitely.
So if those that live on the west side don't think you're going to be driving that extra 20 minutes
Right.
some way far away
into
in Rio Rancho.
Bernalillo or something.
Yeah, I was out there, got lost one day, and next thing you know, I wound up at the casino. So I was fine after that. But that's crazy
about
out
right.
there. It is big and long, and it goes forever.
It's
That
just getting
one,
massive.
there's a highway, and it just stopped right in the middle of the desert. I was on Pat Memorial. I don't know. I'm not from here, but it was wild. I just kept driving and driving. Yeah, and I was I did not know where I was at. I didn't have reception. So I was Rio Rancho, more cell towers, please. That's
Definitely.
funny. So you're on the west side. So everybody on the west side
Yes.
can call you and do that. How is your business growing? Is it, what is your future? What are you seeing with this?
I see nothing but success. I love my business. I want to add in more services. My big goal is to do microblading, which is the tattooed makeup, for the eyebrows,
Right.
and
I don't know
add
what
in
that is, but I'll
LED
pretend.
and hydrofacials. Just, more growth. Definitely.
And so is there, when we look at the vegan options of a business, what do you think is important for a business to be vegan friendly? What does the word friendly mean?
I guess vegan friendly means having the vegan options, having at least one or more vegan options for people, and having a knowledgeable staff on what veganism is, so they know how to properly serve them.
So that would be the friendly part. You guys would be fine if there's a couple options and there's education behind it.
Definitely.
Then that's because, everybody could say be this friendly, but what does friendly mean from the other?
Obviously, as a vegan, we would love to have more vegan restaurants.
Right.
I would love to have a restaurant that did not serve meat or dairy, but that's not always an option for us. But as a vegan, that's kind of the one thing that we do miss out on, is going out to eat with people, because our options are so limited. We go onto the page and scroll through and see what we can have.
Yeah, it's not
where it needs to be, not where
Right.
it is in other states. Definitely.
Right. So there's growth. So if there's a restaurant owner out there, a bar owner, you own a brewery or whatever, is there a place that you guys could give it a shout out that you guys go to all the time that does a really good job here in Albuquerque?
We love Anaquan's. It's a vegetarian restaurant, but they do such a good job, and they are really good at, if you tell them that you're vegan, then they'll tell you their options. And if you don't like tofu, then they'll add in more veggies for you. They cater so well to everybody.
And where's that located at?
It's over here on Wantabo in Wyoming.
Yeah, we can look it up. How do you say it again?
It's Anaquan.
And
It's
yeah, look it up.
ANHYQUAN.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's really good, yeah. I really like Thai vegan, but I get sick when I eat there now, so I can't say anything.
Well, I think everything change? Your body probably starts to change the process getting rid
I
of all
can't eat soy or anything now, but I know a lot of people who still eat it, so
Right,
they don't
right.
have an issue with it. But it if I eat there, it physically makes me sick.
Oh wow, I wonder
So-
what is. Yeah,
I don't.
do a lot of vegans eat Asian foods? Because there's a lot of
I feel like
vegetables
it's a lot
and stuff.
it's easy to make Asian
Right.
food. Vegan, just,
Everybody
add
can do
a lot of
a
veggies,
little vegetable
stir fry
yeah.
without a little beef in there. But I feel like we do. The thing is, it's easy to veganify anything. Veganify. We make queso out of cashews, out of potatoes and carrots, out of whatever.
That's crazy.
Coconut milk. You can really do a lot with what you have.
Yeah, I saw. Did you find it?
Yeah.
Seasonings are key.
Right there on Montebo.
So it's Wantabo and Constitution. The name of it was.
And Haquan.
Oh, okay, perfect. So now we gave a shout out to
Yeah.
that. So you guys need to try that. You can go there.
The
If
best.
you're a restaurant owner, they're doing it right here in Albuquerque. So you could go there and see how it had. Pretend like you're vegan and talk to them and see what the education is
Exactly.
and that level of that. So what advice would you offer a new entrepreneur starting out in Albuquerque? What did you guys make mistakes in the beginning when you first started out? I know you said you were at the mall working with somebody else. What was the process when you first started the business out?
I feel like in the beginning, everyone doesn't feel like they can do it on their own.
Mm.
So originally I was doing like a commission where I would get like a 50-50 split,
Mm-hmm.
but I wouldn't have to buy any of my products. And then it went to like a booth rental where I would pay so much, but being in the mall, there's that train that goes by and there's like a jumping
Right.
thing for the kids and it's just not really like a spa setting. So I decided to just move out, and I found a spot that was like the same price as the mall, and it was secluded and just not in the mall, which was like what I wanted. And so I took the dive and I went to a spot that was like just completely bare, empty room. And the corporate place I was working at had told all of my clients that I had moved out of state.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't get to take anyone with me. So it was really starting all over from scratch.
Oh, wow.
So it was hard in the beginning, but it was doable. I think it's one of those, if you write it down and you're like persistent about it. Like I wrote down that I wanted to start a business 3 years ago in like a little book. It was my dream book. And I wrote down everything I wanted to do
awesome.
and all the services I wanted to offer. And I didn't even look at it again until like 2 weeks ago when I found it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I wrote all this down. But I feel like once you have the mindset and you really like visualize it and see it and just do it.
Right.
The creativity like sets you apart. That's what's going to set you apart.
That's awesome. So that's like great advice for someone. So let's say you were at a Vita or whatever.
Yeah.
And I know there's other places that they're like beauty. I guess I'm a typical guy, so I'm not into this, but there's like, but you have to go study somewhere, obviously go to a school.
Go to school for it.
It's like a, what do they call that type of
specialty school?
Yeah. Specialty school.
Yeah.
So what if there's somebody in there and they're 21, 22 years old and they're in school right now and they're listening to this and they're saying, I want to go, vegan. I want to, be more proactive. I love this idea of this new wax or whatever. What advice would you give to them if they have to go somewhere else and start out?
I feel like everyone has to get their like, I want to say like not education, but they're like
grit down.
Yeah, like they need
right.
it. Thank you. They need a foundation first. You need to get your education, and you need to figure out what you can do to help people. I think the best thing to do is start a social media page. Even if you're working for someone, at least you can kind of like show people what you do and how you work. And then when you're out on your own, then you can like advertise it on there. But everybody has to start somewhere. Yeah.
And I don't know if people would think that. I mean, me from a digital marketing standpoint, I would want to, have social media, Instagram, and then I would make sure that I asked them before they left. I was a client so that I could DM them, remind them of appointments or whatever.
Exactly.
But you would want to have that connection. Then you wouldn't have the fear of, oh, you moved out of state. You're like, no, she's not. She's right here. She just posted at this vegan restaurant.
Exactly.
That's on Montgomery or wherever. But so they're starting out, they're working somewhere else. So how was that switch from working for somebody else to going into, did you just decide one day to do it? Or was there a process? Were you planning? Because you got to buy equipment, you got to rent a place. Seems so daunting to people, I think.
Right. I honestly got a loan. I knew it was something that I wanted, and I was like, I'll make the money back. I'll do it. There was just this mindset that like, I have to do it. If I don't, like, the failure's not an option. You have to do it and you have to succeed. So
I love that.
I got the loan. I got everything that I needed for like my business to start off. And I think the big thing is you may not have everything you need to start. Like, I don't have every single service that I want to do right now, but at least I had the stuff that I needed to get started. I was able to do the waxing services, and I was able to do like little facials. We're adding in the massages. We're adding in like more facial stuff. So do what you can with what you have and get started, and then, invest your money. Don't just blow it.
So like if somebody wanted to, like, let's say they get a loan, they go through that whole process, they get a loan, they borrow it from their parents or whatever. And now they're wanting to look at, would you do something that would just be what your passion is? Or is there like a certain thing that's the easiest thing to do? Like you're talking about like microblading or whatever.
Yeah.
Is waxing easier than one or the other? Is there something they should start out with?
Passion.
Yeah. Oh,
I
like
feel
that.
like I feel like you make money when you find your passion. Like
Mhm.
money comes when you find
Exactly,
something you
yep.
love. You don't have to like. I feel like people get this mindset of like I need money, and not like I need to do what makes me happy.
Right.
So the whole microblading thing is because I like making people feel beautiful, and people who don't have eyebrows, like, to see a transformation like that is just so like overwhelming. Like you see it on Instagram, you're like, oh my gosh, it's so amazing.
I've
So,
never
like,
seen that. I'm gonna have to
oh
look
my
that
gosh,
up.
it's so pretty. And it's just, I don't know, you give people this kind of confidence that they don't have normally. So
Right.
that's like what's so fulfilling with me and my job is I can make people like completely turn their day around just by like coming in to see me and making them feel beautiful. So I found the passion behind that. I mean, I went to laser school and I did laser for 2 years, and then I found out that like I didn't really like laser because it was expensive and people didn't always get the results they wanted, so they weren't always happy with me. So I like,
but that's
doing what I
important
do.
though. You spent that time, 2 years.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I spent $9,000 to go to school for laser too, and I went out of state to do it. But it's not my passion, and I know that, and
right.
I don't feel like I wasted time. I don't regret it. I just feel like there's a lesson learned. I have the education. I'll never lose that.
Right. But you made that decision. Now you're not, going to a laser place every day and hating your job.
Like I was.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I think people need to make that decision. You have to, be educated about it. You plan it out. I know you said you wrote it in a book, and you kept thinking. I imagine every day you're contemplating everything.
See what you really want in
Right.
life. Like it shouldn't. Not everyone wants to work for someone forever.
Right. Yeah, that's beautiful. Well, we're going to take a break real quick, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to get a little bit more into something I'm learning a lot about, veganism.
Join us this week for another episode of the Albuquerque Business Podcast with your host, Jason Rigby. Each week, he interviews leading local business leaders that inspire the vision and spirit in every entrepreneur, discussing strengths, weakness, strategies, systems, and the problems we can all solve together to fulfill a shared vision of a new future for Albuquerque. Listen or download this Sunday afternoon at 4 from your favorite podcasting app.
And we're back with the Albuquerque Business Podcast. This is Jason, and we have the Bees Knees Wax Boutique, Jessica Fouts, right?
Yes.
Is that a German name or?
You are German. Yep, I'm German now. I was Polish. Now I'm German.
Yeah, I did the DNA test for me. I keep talking about these DNA tests, but with the dog, I did one, and then with me. And it's funny how, I'm pretty much white, I guess, but it's like a mix of all this kind of stuff.
Like my mom used to say, you're just American.
Yes,
you're
exactly.
Straight American.
I am 0.3 African American, so I'm excited about that. Yeah, that's awesome. So let's get into this a little bit more, Jessica, if you don't mind.
Sure.
One of the struggles I think that we see here in Albuquerque, especially, is people get disappointed, they get depressed, they try to start a business that doesn't happen right away. Things just don't, they're not making the, 20 grand a month that they wanted to make. What are like some advice that you could give somebody that's struggling right now?
I feel like the best thing that you can do is collaborate with other local businesses. The giveaways work so well. We just started a giveaway like 3 hours ago, and there's like 230 comments on it.
And so let's explain this. So how does it work?
So for the giveaway I'm doing right now, there's like 3 rules. You have to follow my page, and you have to comment one friend who you would like to receive the facial. So you and your friend, whoever you comment, gets a facial. And the third rule was there's unlimited entries into the contest. So you can comment as many friends. There just has to be one friend per comment. So in a week, I'll draw. But then all of those new people that are getting commented are seeing my page. And then they, scroll through your page and they start liking. So we've gotten a whole bunch of new likes and new comments and stuff from not even having to pay any money for our marketing. Just
that's awesome. And so do you collaborate with other businesses or?
Yeah, like I have some friends who own like local businesses. I have a friend who does like LuLaRoe. It's like a clothing brand, and so she'll pair up with me and we'll do a giveaway. So they have to like both of the pages, and then like guess a number, or you can make it like fun, make it creative, and it's just the best way because you're getting not only their clientele, but you get to see each other's clientele, and then you see all these new people because they're commenting their friends. So a lot of the time, if you have them like comment 3 friends or comment 5 friends, then you're having all of these new people that are seeing your page for because you're giving something away for free. It's not like all 229 people are getting something for free. I'm still only giving away 2 free facials, but everyone gets their chance.
No, that's awesome. I like that. And plus, how many follows you get from that?
Yeah. And then you're giving something back to the community too, because no one likes to feel like they're getting ripped off by a business.
Right.
You want to feel like someone, like they care about you. So building that rapport with people is really important too.
Well, I would also think, I mean, if you're putting your heart first in your business. So the idea of you supporting veganism and having this expensive wax from Australia and all this, you're not going to turn around and rip people off at the same time. You know what I mean? It's part of that whole idea of giving back.
Exactly. And at the same time, know your worth. Don't give everything away for free. Like you're still running a business, but yeah, you have to be able to give back. I mean, we did a coat drive in December for like the homeless. Like you have to be able to like share with the community if you're going to be able to like expand. I feel like it's a give and take. You can't just expect to receive if you're not going to like give anything back to people. That's
so awesome. That's so right. I think you had brought up when we were on our break, you had brought up Gary Vaynerchuk, and he talks about that. He had the jab. And he talks about giving, like he gives all his marketing ideas.
Oh yeah.
If you're on, you can pretty much get a 4-year marketing degree in 6 months listening to him.
You can go on his Instagram and get like daily inspiration from him. He has like an app that you can download with his podcasts and everything.
Yeah,
like,
that's so awesome. Yeah. He's amazing as far. So he helped you on the marketing side of things. Was that something you're struggling with, or?
Yeah, well, I feel like everyone has this issue of who to market to, what platform to market on, like where to market, if it should be on social media, if it should be like at events. So he definitely helps with the social media side of it. He has this book called Crushing It, and it talks about each platform, like how you should be marketing on Snapchat, on Instagram, on Facebook, and he even talks about like Musical.ly and some of the less popular like apps as well. So and I love just that he's so like raw and inspirational. Like he's just like do it, you know what I mean? Like he's just like exactly, he's so like hardcore. I love it.
Exactly. Yeah. And one of the things that I really, really liked more than anything is when I was on your Instagram, how often you post. What do you look at it? Do you do it several times a day, or do you do it, every other day? What is your routine?
I try and post at least once a day. I do have like on my Instagram, I have like every third post is a here's the buzz. So it's like an informative post about like skincare or about massage. So, something about in our field. And then it kind of keeps your page looking really clean too. So I feel like looking at the layout and the platform, like just putting the time and effort towards caring about your page and what's being put on there. So I think that's another thing that Gary Vee is really big about. It's not just posting to post, but posting like really good material. So
the content.
Yeah, I try and post like informative stuff, but then I like to show off like some pretty pictures of the stuff that I do too.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, because I would imagine a lot of people wouldn't know. I mean, this is the first time I've heard of this. So even like the whole Australian wax and all that.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you could get a lot of content and like educate.
Oh, definitely. Like I've been in the field for 8 years, so I have a lot of like knowledge that's just kind of like inside me that I love to educate people. It's part like you come into my place and I'm talking to you the entire time because it's just fun to me.
Right.
It's a fun career. I love what I do. So
it's passionate.
Yeah.
You can see that. Yeah.
Thank you.
So we talk about struggle, and I know I've talked to a lot of business owners here in Albuquerque with the whole idea of them feeling like Albuquerque's against them, or New Mexico, you can't really run a successful business here. And, the list goes on and on, but there's not a lot of like where I'm from, or, New York, certain areas like that. There's not a lot of places that have hope. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And New Mexico's always has that, people are scared and they're fearful, which is the opposite of all that. If somebody is brand new, just starting out, and they don't know what to do and they're struggling, what was the number one thing that helped you get past your hurdle?
Just keeping that positive mindset, staying really creative, like not trying to just follow the trend, really like going out and trying to figure out what you can do differently for people. But the positive mindset is always key, because you can look at failure as a failure, or you can look at it as like just another obstacle, and we got to keep moving forward.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I think that's beautiful to look at it that way, because you're going to fail.
Yeah. It's it has to be a learning lesson.
Yeah. I love that. So What is the one characteristic that you believe that every business owner in Albuquerque should possess? What do you think has helped you more than anything with your success?
I think it's just be really creative, give it your all. And the big thing is that strangers are going to be your biggest supporters. I know a lot of us think that it's going to be like friends and family, but you can't hold anything against them. Everyone has their own life. And I think when people know you, the old you, they don't, it's a little different.
Right. No, so I see where you're going at. Like the old you, like in the sense of you started a business, but this was the old person.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we're always constantly growing and changing as people. So when you say the old you, it's just the you that they knew. I mean, I feel like strangers are going to be like your biggest supporters, and don't be afraid to put yourself out there.
That's good. I really, really like that. Because, a lot of times we're afraid to go because we look at the past or we look at the friends that we have. Yeah, that's really good. Because if you're an entrepreneur, a lot of time, and I think we've all had that, where you've worked someplace and then you're this person and then you move on and you've grown and you're this, almost totally different person. And then you have other friends that are making fun of you. And do you have any advice?
Oh, you can't do that. Or why would you open a business?
Right.
But to each their own. Let them be who they want to be and just focus on what you're doing.
And if it doesn't align up with your passion, then maybe they ought not to be your friend anymore. It's not a bad thing.
Exactly. I feel like you move apart from the energies you don't need.
I like that. That's really good. So what are you doing to ensure that you're growing and developing as a business owner? Are there certain new things that you're doing? Like you said, you were looking at going into, expanding?
Definitely. I'm always looking for like continual growth. I like to educate myself. I want to do like the microblading course, which is totally different from what I'm doing. I mean, it's kind of in the same field as like making people beautiful, but I have to get like a tattoo and piercings license, and it's like a whole different license. I know, it's like 150 hours of like an apprenticeship.
Is it
with a
permanently
tattoo
on?
artist. And yeah, I mean, there's ones that last a year and there's ones that last 3 years, which is kind of what I want to do, the 3-year one, because it makes you look permanent. Yeah, it's permanent. So it's, I don't know.
Are eyebrows that big of a thing?
You have no idea. Eyebrows from the face, they are so important. But it's, I don't know. I think it's a confidence thing too. Like if you have your brows done, I mean, for women,
I don't think guys look at eyebrows though. I've never looked at a girl's eyebrow. But the thing is, women
don't do their makeup and do their brows for men. They do it so they can look pretty for themselves. Like it's not for other people. But who's judging
the eyebrow? Is it Instagram making it this way and then people are following it? How is that?
Like the eyebrow trend?
Yeah, let's get into a little bit of beauty here. I'm trying to figure this out. Maybe you can educate these guys that are on here. So like I said, I would never say, man, look at those eyebrows. You know what I mean? I just never would do that. But he knows the field. You know? Maybe if I was dating somebody like that, that would be a different, I
feel like it's one of those things you don't notice them until they're done. Like you don't notice how nice your brows can be until they're done.
It's like before and after.
Yeah. Like for women, we're so into beauty and like doing our makeup and like always looking so presentable that like having your brows just nicely like waxed, and sometimes for a lot of people not even have to do makeup because they look so good. Right. It's just like a confidence builder.
Your brows can be so bomb that you don't even have to do makeup?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes, you
That's
can
crazy.
tint them to where you don't even have to like fill them in either. Like I like color them with like almost like a hair dye kind of vegetable
But this other
oil.
thing you're talking about is like tattooing.
Yeah, so this would be like permanent, like a year. Like I said, well, semi-permanent, a year to 2 years.
Is this a vegan product?
Well, it would just be the ink. You would have to make sure it's vegan because it's just a tattoo.
Right. So it's not like soy or, I wonder what the ink would be. Are tattoos vegan? I wonder.
I think it all depends on the ink.
Yeah. That's interesting.
I haven't honestly gotten a tattoo since I've been vegan, so
But I mean, you did the research and found the wax in Australia, so I'm pretty sure you're going to make sure.
I found like weird stuff, like wine isn't vegan.
Really?
No, because it's filtered through animal bones. So you have to find you have to find vegan wine.
So did they actually have that?
They do. I got some for our wedding. We got 2 bottles.
So we have to go to like
vegan
Total
wine.
Wine and
Yeah.
go look and ask for the
And
vegan
there,
wine.
I mean, you can
Filtered
Google
through
it.
animal bones? This
Yeah.
sounds really
It's
disgusting.
like, why does that even need to happen?
What is that process? I wonder. I gotta
I
look
think
that
it's
up
like
now.
an aerating kind of.
In bones? I
It's the
get
same,
the oak
like,
barrels and all that.
This is how vegans think all the time. We're like, really? Like in bones? You couldn't do it in anything else?
But I mean, is
Rocks,
this
maybe? Like...
Yeah, but I mean, I've seen like people take things with the meme and then make it go crazy or whatever, and then people take that and then they make it a fact. You know, we do that on all sides. You know,
Mhm.
whether you're on the left or the right or whatever, it doesn't matter. So, is there like vegan beauty products? Like,
There
is there
are.
vegan makeup?
There is.
Wow.
Big thing is you want to make sure it's Leaping Bunny approved. So on the back, it should have like, it's PETA approved. So it means that they don't test on animals. So cruelty free. And then in the ingredients is where you're really looking for like vegan stuff. So most brands that are vegan are very open about it. Everyone loves to brag if you're vegan or if they have vegan
okay.
products, because it's something that is not readily available, especially in the beauty industry.
So that guy that you watch all the time, what's his name?
Jeffree Star.
Is
Jeffree
his vegan
Star,
stuff?
His stuff is vegan. Kat Von D, I think like almost all of her stuff is vegan. Elf Cosmetics, that cheaper like Target brand,
Right.
is even vegan. So, I mean, if you Google vegan
But
cosmetic brands,
it'll have
pop up.
like a leaping rabbit.
It's like
I've
a
seen
bunny
something.
with like a circle around it. There,
Oh,
I think the symbol's changing, so it's either like a bunny or a bunny's face or.
So they did animal testing on beauty products. What is
Yeah.
that?
MAC Cosmetics is like one of the biggest animal testers, and like they're always
So
being
are they
protested.
like putting makeup on bunnies
Yeah,
or
they like they do all kinds of stuff, different chemicals to see how they
Respond?
react, and different beauty
like they would like
products
shave an
and-
animal and then put it on the skin and then see if it irritates that animal's
Mhm.
skin or something like
So-
mice or
Exactly. So I mean, obviously, if it's you can test it on each other. I mean, we can test products on humans. We should make sure it's good on us. Just
you don't
because-
want to put makeup that burns your skin.
Yeah.
Is there makeup that's really bad for you? Or skin
Makeup,
products?
I think foundation in general clogs your pores. I don't think unless you're doing a double cleanse, then you're gonna get acne from like wearing a lot of like foundation. So I'm not really big on makeup. I mean, I come in with a fresh face, so
Well,
I'm not huge on
what
makeup.
is it when they look like two different colors? Like,
that is
like somebody
that is
has
just
like, is that
wrong
the
color
foundation?
foundation
And that's
match.
what it is.
Yes.
I've seen that. It's
Sometimes
like your
it's a
neck
little
is like,
yellow, but that is normally the people at the beauty store are supposed to be matching your color, so you can blame them.
Oh, that's funny. So, like, what are like products that you would use as a vegan for, like lotion and stuff? Is there bad lotion and good lotion, or?
Well, I'm working on carrying some vegan skincare lines. The one that I'm using right now is called Thesis, and they're 100% vegan. There's no synthetic fragrances or dyes or parabens or any like bad chemicals in there. I like that all their stuff's powdered too, so you just like mix in your water. There's no like preservatives. There's no shelf life.
It's powdered.
It's like it's a powder, and you put it in your hand, and it turns into a face wash. It's
wow,
amazing.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So that's the stuff I'm gonna start carrying now. There's a lot of lines out there. You really just have to do your research.
And you'll have it in your at your business, and they'll be able to purchase it from you.
Yeah.
Okay,
I carry
cool.
and for Back Bar, I have like some jelly masks and some really cool like skincare products that I carry personally and that I use that I recommend. But like, there's so many good lines out there, but the FDA doesn't regulate the skincare industry at all. So there's also a lot of bad lines out there.
Oh yeah, I
because
could imagine.
No one's regulated.
I mean, how many billions of dollars is the skincare industry?
Oh my gosh,
it's
crazy.
When you can like drink water, and that's like one of the most
the
healthiest
thing
things for
you,
your
right?
skin. Yeah. So, speaking of that, is there certain, like, obviously you can't drink milk. Wait, can you guys drink soda?
I mean, you can. I don't personally like high fructose corn syrup, so
Right.
I don't like soda, but everyone, I mean,
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier.
Oreos are vegan. Some Doritos are vegan. Like, you can, I feel like everyone starts
McDonald's
out
French
somewhere.
fries
When
are-
I first started out, I started off eating like the Gardenia, whatever, the fake meat and I mean,
I've had some
you're
fake,
learning to replace what
meatballs.
you've done like your whole life. Weren't they bomb?
Yeah, they were actually bomb. I think it was that company. It started with a D.
Oh,
something.
the Daya.
Yeah, it's at Whole Foods.
Yeah, they make all kinds of stuff.
So like, because I want to get back to this, like there's lotions that are actually, if you're putting them on your skin every day, you're hurting yourself.
It's, you really have to look at the chemicals in it, because the first like 3 ingredients are going to be the most concentrated in your skincare products. So if the first one is water, is it filtered water? Is it deionized water? Or is it just like sink water that has a lot of heavy metals that you're just going to be putting on your skin? Like, where is your stuff coming from is the big thing. And then there's so many preservatives and parabens in products now that can cause skin irritation and cause inflammation. So your acne could be coming from your skincare product, could be coming from your diet. But that's kind of what I help people realize is what's going on with your skin. It's like I'm an investigator. I get to tell people like, okay, so are you changing your pillowcase enough? What are you using on your skin? Are you doing a lot of dairy every day? So like, I can really help people clear up acne just by like clearing up what they're putting on their skin.
You can have a multi-million-dollar business just doing that.
Oh, it's amazing. I love it.
So do you do facials too, or?
I do.
Do you do them for acne? If somebody has acne?
I do them for
it's
acne
a vegan
and
product?
scarring as well. Acne scarring. It is all vegan. 100% vegan. Everything.
Scarring too?
Yep. There's this stuff you could do. It's called microneedling, and it's like 36 tiny, tiny, tiny needles, and they vibrate up and down, and they like create, we call it a controlled wound, and it like,
this sounds torturous.
You're numbed if you need it. But it's not very deep.
Like a tattoo or
you
less?
Feel less. You feel like sunburned for like a day or two, but that's about it. You don't look like really bloody or anything like that. It's not like super invasive. It's like a medium invasive. But you feel about sunburn for like a day or two, and but it makes your skin like heal itself. So you're creating a wound, so your body goes and repairs itself. So that's how you can get rid of scarring.
Almost like if you lift weights or whatever.
Exactly. Like that ripping and tearing and then repairing and repairing. So it's the same kind of thing. I like to compare it to like aerating your lawn, where you poke a whole bunch of holes in your lawn and then you're like,
dudes can understand that part.
Exactly. It's great.
That's the simplest. So I kind of want to run with this because I think it's interesting. So if somebody's wanting to be vegan and then they want, what's like a good advice? Because I mean, you know this hands down. What's good advice for somebody, or maybe like an entrepreneur or business owner that's in a hurry? What's good advice for them to do daily to help their skin?
Cleansing.
Cleansing? That's like the number. You would say cleansing would be.
I would say cleansing twice a day, morning and night.
So what is it? Is there like certain cleansing?
Moisturizing.
I've never used any type of cleansing products. My face is probably horrific. But,
you have good genetics then.
No, I've never. Yeah, I'm old.
I'm like, your skin's not even bad. There's no way.
But I mean, so what is like a cleanser? Like if I want to go buy a cleanser right now that was not tested on animals, what would be like what would be a good start?
I would go to like Sprouts or Co-op or, Whole Foods, somewhere where they have more natural products. And then look at the ingredients.
Do you sell a cleanser?
I let my clients have my phone number. They can always contact me. I get photos of people's like skincare products and the ingredients all the time. And they're like, should I use this? And then I tell them my honest opinion. Like, I am not against hiding like what you should be using on your skin.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. So cleanser would be number one. And then like, if I wanted to go through a day, maybe there's, somebody out there and they've got skin issues.
But you have to moisturize too. It's like shampoo and conditioner. You can't like cleanse and not, like you can't shampoo and not rehydrate.
Right. You just have like super dry skin.
Exactly. You have to have like, you can't have one without the other.
Oh, okay. So cleansing, lotion. And then is there anything at night? Because I always see like women doing all these different crazy things at night.
Well, there's a lot you can do for your skin. Exfoliating 2 to 3 times a week. It takes off like the dead skin on top. It helps with fine lines and wrinkles. It can help with acne. So exfoliating helps a lot. And it like as far as acne goes, especially like on the cheeks and like around the mouth, like the really inflamed cystic acne, I tell my clients cut out dairy for a week and then see how your skin reacts. Because
like
a lot of the
take
time,
things away.
Yes.
And then see what happens.
Yeah, because a lot of the time the inflammation is coming from within.
That's good.
Your gut controls a lot of everything. Your skin is your biggest organ of your body. So if you're not taking care of everything else, your skin starts to act up.
Oh, man, I'm learning a lot. This is cool.
It's cool, huh?
Yeah,
Skin is so interesting. I love it.
So, Jessica, I want to ask you this. What would a businesswoman that is wearing makeup every day, maybe running around busy, what would be like the number one thing she could do to keep her skin, healthy?
I would say to double cleanse. So cleanse, and then after you're done cleansing, cleanse again. Because most of the time, the first cleanse is just to take off the makeup. The second cleanse is actually going to like clean your skin. Toners work really well. Moisturizer, exfoliate. Like I said, if you need product, I got you.
And so how can they, because we're going to wrap this up, how can they get a hold of you again?
So best way is either to like text me or call me. I usually respond better to text just because I'm normally with clients. Or you can always Facebook or Instagram me as well.
Okay. And what's your Instagram?
It's the Bee's Knees Rio Rancho.
Okay. And you could just DM on there if they want to schedule an appointment with you or whatever.
Yep.
And then go from there. And not only are they going to get waxed or you do facials too?
I do.
Yeah. But you're going to give them a ton of knowledge and you'll be able to set them up.
I'm an open book.
Awesome. Well, that's all for today's episode of the Albuquerque Business Podcast. Thanks for listening. And thank you to Jessica with the Bee's Knees Wax Boutique. And if they wanted to get a hold of you, what would be the best way to schedule an appointment with you?
They can call or text me. My number is 505-750-2679, or you can get me on Instagram or Facebook at the Bee's Knees Rio Rancho.
And do you have a website?
I do. It's thebeeskneeswaxboutique.com.
Perfect. And that has all your information on that
does.
too. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, Jessica, for being here. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and Spotify so you never miss an episode, and stop by our website at abqpodcast.com. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you for joining us on the Albuquerque Business Podcast. And thank you to our sponsor, DukeCityMarketing.com. Please go to abqpodcast.com, where you can get show notes, resources, and links to everything we talked about today to help you navigate your journey as an entrepreneur and business owner in Albuquerque.